do you know what? You will know exactly when the process of the actual massive, huge, enormous change in your life is starting right at the beginning of this week. And I'm talking about the week in between the 9th and the actual 15th of January 2023, where right at the beginning of this week you will know when this huge change is about to start, right at the moment when you become aware of some kind of like a dishonesty, when you become aware of some kind of lies, when you become aware of certain people being completely not sincere, you know, this in itself, it's all gonna contribute towards you in such a wonderful, amazing way. Why? Because you are gonna know exactly what are you going to do with your life. This is, you know, it's not about you finding out about dishonesty, about some kind of double dealing, about some people not being honest and some people not being sincere, and lies and things like that. It's not about that as such, my gorgeous Sagittarini. It is more about what are you going to get and gain out of it. It is not negative, it is not bad, it is not horrible. Why? Because you need to see this as a confirmation. This is more like a huge confirmation. So you see what I mean? As soon as you become aware of some people being dishonest, some kind of double dealing, some kind of like lies, you know, this in itself is, trust me, my gorgeous Sagittarini, it is going to be highlighted one way or another. You are going to become aware of this situation and you're not going to be able to kind of focus on it, not to focus on it. You're not going to be able not to notice it. This is indeed going to become a very much so an important part of your spiritual journey, because you are going to have a confirmation. This is bringing you an important confirmation. This confirmation, it's like a, basically in spiritual terms, it's like a little bunny, it's like a little rabbit, which means that that confirmation at the same time, when I say in spiritual terms it's like a little rabbit, it means that it's going to help you on one hand to make such an important decision that you were struggling with for so long. It's going to help you to be not to be kind of indecisive. You see what I mean? So it's all about the confirmation. And when it comes to rabbit, bunny, and when it, because I'm seeing little bunny here, so when it comes to rabbit and the little bunny, it means that this is going to bring a very good change into your life in such a way where you are going to be able to make the right decision when it comes to you, when it comes to your life. But at the same time, it's about speeding things in life. It's about speeding the certain process, certain progress. And this is what the little bunny and the little rabbit actually symbolizes, like a making a really big jump towards where you want to get, towards the part of your life that is the most you know, attractive to you, but towards the part of the life that you've been working on for so long. So this in itself, it's actually going to provide you a really nice spiritual shortcut towards the part of your life where you want to get. And this in itself, it's pretty much so to do with like a really big wish, something that you've been working on and something that you've been working towards for such a long time. So it's to do with a really big wish coming true right now. And this is going to be the sign that you are really going to be able to speed things up, because now it's going to become obvious to you why you felt for so long like, you know, you felt kind of creative, but you didn't do much about your creativity. And this was going on for a while. I'm not saying that you didn't do anything, that you just sat at home. No, baby, no. But there was so much on your mind, so many ideas, so many realizations you've had over the last year or two, but they just didn't kind of happen. They kind of didn't manifest. And now suddenly this is all going to become completely clear to you why. And it's going to become exactly clear to you that you know, like, all this is going to lead towards you making making an important decision here, and towards you kind of making an adjustment in your life. So it's not about becoming completely obvious why you felt so restricted for way too long, especially for the last 10 months indeed. But it's also going to highlight a very, very unhealthy attachment. And this unhealthy attachment, you know, it's going to be highlighted also at the same time when you become aware of these lies and dishonesty, because this is all going to lead towards you having quite a weird experience at the beginning of the week. But then again, you need this in your life, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to move on. So it's all about kind of cutting out a rather unhealthy attachment in your life, and that means that you need to recognize what karmically came to an end, okay? Because certain specific things about our lives, that when they karmically come to an end, they're going to be making us feel unhappy and negative and sad, and they're just going to make us feel like we don't have like an energy, like as much energy as we normally do. And these are all little signs, you know, little spiritual signs that requires from you to reflect on it in a very specific way. But this can only happen once we kind of become aware of something that shakens us up a little bit. But then again, it creates this really specific vibration and energy that helps us see things that we normally don't see. So that's why we are able to reflect in a different way, because it's all leading to this like kind of little experience that you are going to have at the beginning of the week. And this is going to play such an important role when it comes to you. It's all going to be leading towards you having a completely different perspective on things that were worrying you and things that you needed to do, and on an important step that you need to make. Now suddenly, you know, you are going to become extremely brave and extremely bold about making an important step here. Now that step that I'm talking about, oh my god, it really requires bravery, and it requires you to be as confident as you possibly can, because a lot is coming from you, and it's coming from maybe, you know, like for example, like if you talk about these things to some other people in your life, they would be like, oh no, you're crazy, what you're doing. No baby, no, you do what you want to do in this life, because I can see that at the same time, by what you're doing right now, you're also going to prove a point to somebody who is very close to you, very important to you, the certain person like a family member or a friend who just didn't trust you about something, about starting something, about doing something, about starting some kind of a project, you know. So you are also going to be able to kind of prove your point to someone. But the bottom line is that this is going to give you a really nice perspective to look at the things differently in your life. Those things that were worrying you, now they're going to become very much so attractive and challenging in a good way. And those things, you know, that were also like kind of worrying you and making you feel negative, now this is something that is just going to kind of be the main force of driving you forward in your life. And it's going to make you feel extremely brave when it comes to something very specific. So when I say that you're going to make a specific move or like a specific step here, like really brave, it's to do with you being brave, but it's also to do, I'm going to be even more specific, and I'm going to tell you that this is to do with you now taking something that means to you so much, like it's to do with your ambitions, it's to do with your life, it's to do with so many things, you know, like mixed up in one thing. But the bottom line is, it's to do with something very much so specific that means to you so much. You will want this to become the part of your reality. But that is like about manifesting some kind of a goal. Manifesting some kind of a goal. Do you hear me? This is so important to you. It's not like some kind of a goal. It's something that makes you feel extremely excited as soon as you're thinking about it. But then again, for way too long, you've been waiting for the right moment, you've been waiting for the right time. Well, now, my gorgeous Sagittarini, it's definitely the right time to do this, because now this brave move, it's all about you finally knowing what to do, deciding first of all you're going to do this, and knowing what to do exactly when it comes to manifesting some kind of a goal and making it to become the actual reality. And also what I want to say to you when it comes to the beginning of this week, my gorgeous Sagittarini, when it comes to the beginning of this week, you know, ignore the bloody illusion of a feeling and being trapped. This is what you need to understand. The energies are going to be very strange and rather unusual, but you always need to get the fact that, you know, when the energies are very strange and unusual, it's like sometimes the energy literally feels really thick, you know, like a very strange and unusual. When the energy is so thick around us, then we are like, oh my God, part of the different dimension. But what you need to understand, you can just turn this energy and in your favor. You can use this energy, you know, you can like use this energy in your favor, you know, instead of like kind of let this energy to bring you down. And this in itself, it's entirely down to you. And you can do this by being optimistic and by understanding this, you know, that you can actually manipulate this energy and actually make the most of it. It goes both ways, and it's entirely down to you. So just remember to ignore the illusion of being trapped. This is very important. And also at the same time, you know, you need to kind of accept a certain responsibility for some kind of situation, and then make choices that support your path to happiness, my gorgeous Sagittarini, you know. And also another thing that I was going to say to you, it's like when it comes to this week, please try to work on a certain addictions. Okay, this is very important. And you know, when it comes to the addictions, you know, it doesn't have to be necessarily with drugs or anything like that. The addiction, you know, the addiction nowadays can come in so many different ways. And I will tell you why this is important, because this is an amazing week when it comes to your own ability to heal yourself. January generally, you know, is like a really kind of like powerful when it comes to us being able to heal ourselves. But it's not only about that, it's more about you paying attention to what your body is trying to let you know, okay? And at the same time, you have to acknowledge this, because if you don't acknowledge this, you're not going to kind of like start the process of healing. So pay attention to what your body is trying to tell you. Pretty much so it's to do with the some kind of the addiction. So this is going to be like reflection of some kind of addiction. Your body is going to try to tell you this, and all you need to do right now is just to acknowledge this. By acknowledging this, you're already halfway there. I hope you understand the importance of it. And when it comes to the January, it's most powerful month when it comes to our own ability to heal ourselves. So it's not only like to work on an addiction, but to understand that you can actually do something with your energy, very much so in an intense way throughout January. By the time you get to the mid part of January, my gorgeous, mid part of this week, sorry. By the time you get to the mid part of this week, and I did say I hope so, yeah, this is for the weekend between the 9th and the 15th of January 2023. So now by the time you get to the mid part of this week, now mid part of this week, suddenly you are going to be reminded of the some kind of tower situation that you've been through. Okay, so something kind of negative and bad and dark and kind of, oh God, you know, happened to you within the last couple of years, you know, and I know this is like kind of, oh God, he's going back within the last couple of years, what happened? No, baby, no, you must not think like that, because certain things, when certain things happen to us, they shake our world, and we're kind of partially left there, you know, until we work on our own karma. And we are going to be partially left there until we kind of learn the specific lesson. I know this sounds really, really harsh, but the only way for us to learn a specific lessons about life, it's going to come only through us, through our own experiences in life, which do take time, which do require certain experiences and things that we need to go through. So you've been through so much. So now suddenly you are gonna be kind of at around the midweek. Now suddenly you're gonna be reminded of some kind of tower situation. So it's a bad situation that happened to you within the last couple of years, and it shook your world so much to the point that you didn't even realize how much this actually affected you. And this you did realize, of course, but not how much this actually affected you, because it affected your planning and so much, because only now things are going to start moving on for you, because one cycle is coming to an end and another cycle is about to begin. So you are going to be reminded of this kind of tower moment that happened to you within the last 2 years, and this tower moment that you're going to be reminded of. Now suddenly you're going to be thinking about this situation that took place, and now you will also kind of understand that because of that situation, you are going to be be able to kind of, that situation, you're going to be thinking about it in a negative way, but then suddenly you're going to realize something. Suddenly you're going to understand something about the current challenge in your life, about the current challenge in your life, about the current burden in your life. And suddenly, pam, 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 this is what I'm talking about, baby, because the lesson has been learned. And this is the point that I was trying to get. The lesson has been learned. There is something very specific that you have learned, okay? The spiritual lesson is like the biggest mama ever, okay? So now you're going to be reminded of that tower within the last 2 years, and then you're going to be reflecting on the current problem and challenge that created a big burden in your life, and now you will know exactly what to do. You're going to be so delighted, you're going to be so excited, and you're going to be so happy, and you're going to be like, why didn't I do this before? How come I didn't realize this before? You know, it's just all this. It's going to be like, you know, it's going to like completely like kind of you know, it's going to be very, very interesting experience. So it's nothing to blame yourself, but it's just basically, it's going to give you the reason for celebration, because you will know what to do. And you are going to be thinking, as I said, a lot, like, why didn't I think of that before? No, baby, no, it doesn't really matter. Karmically, you had to go over certain things. You had to like kind of experience certain things. So you were prepared for this moment in time. So this in itself is going to bring you a huge reason for celebration. This is absolutely brilliant. And even more so, it's clearly going to show you the way, what to pay attention to, and which plan, most importantly, to stick to. This is to do with another confirmation in your life, my gorgeous Sagittarini. Indeed, this is absolutely superb. And also, when it comes to the midweek, you need to understand this. This is another big mama, indeed, because when it comes to this week, another thing that I want to say to you, it's like, you know, you are really going to have such a significant, mind-blowing life experience. Let me tell you, at around the midweek, my gorgeous Sagittarini, you are going to have a significant, mind-blowing life experience that is going to leave you with absolutely no option but to make certain changes in your life, because this is a lot to do with the powerful and rather unexpected revelation. Something that you are going to become aware of is just like kind of also going to be the time where you're gonna break free, and you're gonna release yourself from such a huge amount of like things that were like kind of holding you down. You're gonna release such a huge amount of negative energy. By the time you get to the actual last part of this week, my gorgeous Sagittarini, by the time you get to the last part of this week, I mean, this is mind-blowing, because this is to do with a really big accomplishment. It's something that you have been working on, something that again means to you so much. So it's to do with an accomplishment, and it's to do with a success that you're going to become aware of. You are going to feel so good about yourself. You're going to feel so proud of yourself. You are going to feel so good, and you're going to feel the happiness you haven't felt in a long time, especially when it comes to you being so pleased with yourself and you being so pleased with your progress. So it's an amazing accomplishment that you are going to have, and that accomplishment is absolutely brilliant, because you know this is going to mean to you so much, because you were worrying about this, you were working on this for a while, and this almost like kind of affected you, you know, within the last year, to lose a peace of mind or a personal freedom just because you were worrying about this so much. And that was like kind of also making you aware of like a lot of other people's actions in your life. There is so much that you've realized and learned on your spiritual journey while you were actually doing this. But the bottom line is that this accomplishment and success that you're going to become aware of, this is to do with something that means to you the most, you know, what you're working on currently. But at the same time, it's like, oh my God, it's like you are gonna become so confident about something so specific. You know, you're gonna become so confident about some kind of success here, and this is absolutely brilliant, because that confidence that you're going to have about your own success is just basically, it's clearly going to be obvious here what is actually going to make you successful in terms of finances, and in terms of your money, and in terms of investments in your life. You know, this is all going to make sense like there is no tomorrow. But then on another hand, you know, you just have to like kind of be honest with yourself, because at the same time, when you become aware of this accomplishment and this success, and when you become like kind of so confident about some kind of success, you know, in the future through this, you will know exactly something is going to be on your mind, and you're going to be so confident. You will know, you will be able to kind of connect to your future in such a vivid way like you've never done before. So this is all going to contribute towards you knowing exactly that you are doing the right thing, and what is the next step for you here. But at the same time, you need to understand that there is something that is just not going to work out. There is something that you're going to have to accept, maybe something like a little bit to do with that success and things like that, but there is still kind of an element of that is going to become obvious that it's actually not going to work out. And that kind of for you, and that kind of came to an end. And the sooner you accept this, the better it's actually going to be. Just remember what I said to you before. When an aspect of our life comes to an end, then you know, certain things start to drag, you know, in our lives. Certain things are slowed down because it requires our attention, and our attention can only come through our own awareness. And this is what I'm saying here. You need to become aware of this. So something is not going to work out, and the reason why is like you're not going to be able to kind of like, you know, when I said you're going to be so confident about your success, something is going to be on your mind full on. There is so much that is going to be answered, but you're not going to be able to kind of take that on unless you accept that there is a little part that you need to cut out of your life. There is a little part that you need to move on, something that it obviously came to an end. But sometimes when it's to do with a specific part of our lives that we used to feel so passionate about, it's like kind of a little bit difficult to let it go. So you have to be really honest with yourself what this is, and as soon as you kind of pay attention to this, as soon as you reflect on something that it's not going to work out, you know, that in itself is going to speed up all other things. You know, very soon after that moment in time, there is an important message that you are going to have, and that important message that you are going to have, it's also going to really surprise you, because you're going to become aware of like a pretty much so an excellent opportunity which is going to present itself, which is completely going to surprise you and change your world forever in the best possible way. So this is what I'm trying to explain to you, how connected things actually are. And also, my gorgeous Sagittarini, when it comes to the end of this week, you are going to have a bit of like a kind of like a hermit moment, you know. At around the end of the week, you're also going to have a little bit of a hermit moment, and this hermit moment that you are going to have, it's like almost like a kind of you're gonna realize that something really bad and something really dark is coming to an end. Something very bad and something very dark that was not only affecting you, but it was affecting those people in your life as well that means to you the most. You know, like something that lots of people were kind of worrying about. For example, so your hermit mode that you're going to have at around the end of the week, it's also going to be like a big psychic mode that you're actually going to walk in. Very intuitive moment in time. So it's not only about hermit and you feeling like to be by yourself, like you need to be by yourself for a while, but at the same time you're gonna go like extremely psychic, and that in itself is gonna make you aware of some kind of, like, as I said, a bad negative situation, something very dark is coming to an end. And that as soon as you become aware of this, you are gonna realize some kind of a project that you left behind, some kind of project is suddenly gonna start mean to you so much, something that you kind of literally forgot about. For you forgot about this project, how crazy this is, you forgot about this project whatsoever, and now suddenly this is going to be highlighted. So this hermit moment, it's not only going to make you aware aware of, like there's something very bad is coming to an end, but you will see how much that was affecting you and how much this was worrying you, because instantly the negative energy is going to be shifted, which is going to open your eyes and it's going to release you again. And that in itself is going to make you aware of this unrealized project, something that now suddenly this is going to be on your mind. And then even more so, not that long after that moment in time, somebody very, very clever, somebody very powerful, somebody very beautiful is going to be playing an important role in your life, because you're going to get not only clarity through that person and some kind of confirmation, but you're also going to get like a really, really wise advice. And as soon as you get this wise advice, that is also going to kind of, you're going to realize, but just by having this wise advice, the actual variety of options that you've never ever realized before. Okay, and they were always there, but you just weren't ready. So now, my gorgeous Sagittarini, it's literally time. Okay, my gorgeous Sagittarini, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye.